Edward here from erviewer.com, and I have another session for you in my series of remote viewing locations. And the target for this session was the city of Mecca. The target was selected for me by someone else who was not in the room when I did the remote viewing session. And what stuck out for me most in this session was a large pointed building or structure that continually came through in the session for me that that really stuck out. And in my research of the city of Mecca, I found that there is it's called the Mecca clock tower. It's the second largest building in the world, and it also harbors the largest clock face in the world. And that was something that came through very strong in the session as well, was that this structure was a focal point where people would turn their attention towards. And I see that as the Muslims and the worshippers focusing on that to know what time it is for their prayers. So that was really, really interesting. And the structure stuck out in the landscape. It just really, really stuck out. And the photos that I found of it really show that. You have the desert and this tall building sticking out on it. Other things that I picked up on for the target were I did some time movements, moving through time, as I found that this area, this location, was very old. And so I did some movements on it and came upon where the idea that the location wasn't what it once was. I mean, that I moved back to a time when it was a trade center. There was trade going on, and people were moving through. And I did in my research find that in the 6th century, that area was one of the primary trade routes for the spice trades of the 6th century. And I also picked up on the idea of the sea, and in my research I found that because of the piracy that was happening for those trade routes by water, the merchants then went back to the land, and that city was one of the main spice trade routes, and that came through very strongly as well. And so I did get this strong feeling of people passing through. And I also did get the idea of kind of a fluctuating population. And as best as I could describe it in this session, was the idea that there were not as many people there as there once was. And trying to understand what that means in a session is a little difficult. But in my research, I did learn about how the population fluctuates during certain holy times, when the population of the city triples in size from the amount of people that go there, and then they go home and the population goes back down. And so I feel that that's what I was picking up on, was that fluctuation. It was very interesting for me to remote view. I did like the place. I was very interested in it. As a location with that much rich history, it makes it very tantalizing for a remote viewer. There's so much there. So I hope you enjoy the session, and more to come. Stage 2 is brown, black, golden, white. Getting an AOL of a beach. Let that go. Colors. Silvery. Golden. smooth, white, hard, dense, gritty, bristly, coarse, edged, pointed, warm temperatures, cool, body temperature. How's the smell there? Kind of humid. A thick smell. How about tastes? Metallic, earthy, stale, any other tastes? Chemical? What sounds? What sounds would I hear there? Buzzing, voices, other sounds? What sounds would I hear there? Rattling. Rattling. What other sounds would I hear there? Buzzing. Round, flat, tubular, dense, moving, above. What other dimensions are there? Angular, light, getting an AOL of hot air balloons. Let that go. Let that go. What other dimensions are there? Long, inside, above, narrow, what other dimensions are there? Close, in, around, what other dimensions are there? Getting an AOL here. Maybe this might be an AOL of the signal, like the beginning of something. Dimensions, open, open, dimensions, narrow. What other dimensions are there? Flat, wide. What other dimensions are there? Big, flat, open, long, inside. What other dimensions are here? Narrow. What else? Clanking. Voices. EI is not coming up yet. What other dimensions are there? contrast outside. What are the dimensions? Big. Okay, AOL, a building. Second. Long. My AI is coming in. Excited. Thrilled. 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 I'd like to go there. I'd like to go there. The AOL of like Thebes, Egypt. Let that go. Something sticks out here. Something sticks out. The signal. It's getting this idea that there's something tall that stands out. Then there are low things. White, green, blue. Sensory dimensions, AI, tangible, intangible, AOL of the signal, glassy, smooth, open, big, wide, round, flat. stage 4 and half this. There's something prominent at the location that sticks out. Long, tubular. I find it very interesting. Kind of drawn to it. Drawn to this thing. What emotions there? How do people feel about it there? Emotions at the same? Do a movement here. From 1,000 feet above the target location, something should be perceivable. Round, flat, long, getting an AOL of beach. Let that go. What else? From 100 feet above the target location, something should be perceivable. A valley, the idea of valley. Wide, open. Space. Patterns. AOL of the signal. It's like lots of boxes. Green. Idea of super. Like people. I'm getting this idea of old people. Old people. AOL, Florida. Florida retirement community. Let that go. Hey, old break. Let that go. Let that go. Let that go. I'm getting the idea that, let me stage 4.5 this, it's not as dense as it used to be. It's not as dense as it used to be. 5, sensory dimensions, AI, visual, intangible, AOL, the signal. Not as dense as it used to be. Like, there's not as many as there once was. It's not as many as there once was. Like, the idea of grand. An AOL of, actually it would be AOL of the signal. It's like an old mining town. There's not as many as there once was. We'll do a movement on that. Move to the time when the location was most occupied and describe. Move to the time when the location was most occupied and described. Whirling, business, market, flashing, trade, people moving through, mobile, I'm getting this idea like people don't stay long in this location. It's like AOL is a signal of this. Like an attraction. It's like an attraction. But there's something big here. Something sticks out. something sticks out. Something sticks out. What is the purpose of the something sticks out? What is the purpose of this thing? What is the purpose of this? The idea of damage. What's the purpose of it? Bringing together. Attraction. It can be seen from far away. The sight is special. It can be seen from far away. Six dimensions, AI, tangible, intangible, AOL. Getting an AOL of Mount Rushmore. I think AOL break, Mount Rushmore. Something sticks out. What is the purpose of the something that sticks out? What is the purpose? Grandiose. What's the purpose of this thing that sticks out? What's the purpose of it? Building, growing, passing, like a marker, like a signpost. Like a signpost. People can see it from far away and use it for direction. It's a big thing. It's a big thing. Big thing. People see it and they go that way. People see it and they go that way, towards it. tight. Like things are close together. Things are close together. How do people feel about it? What are the emotions about this site, about this location? I mean, fear. Lonely. It's not what it once was. Hang on a second, let me get this out about it. Like, getting this idea that the tough times are over. There. Are over at this place. At this place. But it still stands. But it still stands. Since we mentioned a signal. See. We will want to move here. Let's do a movement. Move to the time when this location was most busy. Describe why it's so busy. Describe why it's so busy. Why are people going there? What is it about this place? See. Bringing, moving, destination. People are are drawn to it. People are drawn to it. People are drawn to it. What are they drawn to? What are they drawn to? What are people drawn to here? What are people drawn to? What are they drawn to? Getting an idea of fishing. What are people drawn to here? Nostalgia. What are people drawn to here? What are they drawn to? Tall. Beacon. Beacon. Like a compass. Like a compass. Like it's a destination point. On the way to other places. On the way to other places. It's like part of a route. Part of a route. Feels old. Okay. Summary. The target is a location that has a something sticking out that is tall, and people can see it from a distance and are drawn to it. but they don't stay long. Like it's a destination. That goes on through to other places. It's a stop along the way. It's a stop along the way. The location is not what it used to be. But it still stands. It still stands. Okay, I'm going to end this at 11 o'clock exactly. What is it? It is Mecca.